Thank you to my local nursery for getting proven winners this year. And now we can finish all our projects. Namely this one, which was looking pretty sad with my random Home Depot proven winners orders. This was a Supertunia Bubblegum compared to what I got at the local nursery. Supertunia Bubblegum. So we spent our morning at the nursery. Look how happy he is. And now we're gonna have a snack. We're gonna have a snack, and we're gonna play, and then we're gonna garden. He misses all the dogs and people he met at the gardening center. All right, we will be back out to plant our annual planters and say goodbye to the random mix of the only plants I could find earlier. Okay, so it's just separating these and organizing them. I got some Campfire Marshmallow Bidens. I got Supertunia Saffron Finch. Look how good these look. And then I always check the bottom to make sure roots are coming out, because the other ones I got from Home Depot online, they had 0 roots. Half of the soil on top came out and I still had no roots under it. So, and usually it's just they're not ready to actually sell. Of course, got some bubblegum, Supertunia Bubblegum, Hoopla Vivid Orchid. I was not going to do this color this year, but it just looked so good last year that I had to put it in at least one pot. And then I got Mini Vista Yellows. I've never tried any of the yellow Supertunias or, yeah, really. I don't think I've tried any of the yellow Supertunias or Calibrachoas, so I decided to do Supertunias. And then I wanted to try the Tiara Pink. I got one, and then as I was walking away, I saw the Cool Jazz, and so I grabbed 2 of those. And then the only verbenas they had were red, a rose, and then this one, which is Violet Ice, which I don't have, so I figured I would try that in some pots. And then usually I transplant out my verbena to the ground at the end of the season so that it will come back. So now, I had a plan before I went to the garden center, and then I had a different plan at the garden center, and then I'm pretty sure I'll have a different plan now that I'm home. So I think these just look good sitting on the bench here. How cool would it be just to have a planter that's a bench? Oh my gosh. Anyway, so we're gonna get some of these pots planted up here. And we just washed the car, so here's my little helper. And then I'm just gonna show you the plants after. These are the little plants for planters here, and this already has hydrangea in it and some creeping jenny, so I think I'm gonna leave it alone. So I want all the water to go into that hydrangea. That's a salvia, so I could probably add things there that are, I don't think I got enough plants, even though it looks like a lot. But eventually I'll add more soil and probably some Supertunias. And then that sage back there, I think that might be my edible planter this year. So I think I'm gonna add some basil to it and then just leave it. And then maybe some rosemary, but that'll be in June. And then we have this planter. This is just whatever I could find at Home Depot, which were some impatiens. And this looks happy right now, so I'm gonna leave it, and then I think in June we'll get some more Supertunias for this area. Over here, this planter, this is the first planter I ever planted, has some Baptisia, just blue false indigo Baptisia, and then Sun Sparkler Sedum, spiderweb. So I'm gonna put a little verbena here because in this one I added a verbena here. I don't have anything here, and I meant to get something, but I didn't see any salvia, purple salvia. I only saw red, so we'll get something eventually in here. And then here I usually put a Supertunia with these I Spy Heucherellas. I usually do the blue one, but I couldn't find it, so we'll see. This might be a later project as well. And this is just a mishmash. I might put something there later. What I might do is these impatiens that I don't like, I think I'm gonna move it here because I think it'll look better in that pot. And then this is gonna be Supertunias here. And I already have this salvia. This was a little quart pot on sale in March, so I'm so glad I got that. That Calibrachoa, I haven't been loving it, but now that it's fleshed out, I kind of like it. I put some bubblegum already that I got, so I might leave this alone, but I'm really tempted to add a Saffron Finch here instead of this Calibrachoa. And I was thinking that because this looked sad the other day, and then it rained yesterday, and it looks so good. So I might just leave it alone. I need to get these impatiens out. It looks really good on camera actually right now, but I don't love it in real life. We'll see. But again, we have a Supertunia bubblegum here, lemon coral sedum, and then I'm either gonna move this tree back or move these planters inward. These are the hydrangea I cut from my hedge the other day. Look at these spirea. Everything is blooming after the rain yesterday. And spirea looking good. This planter, this is my tater tot arb that was struggling against a ginormous lavender that just became so big. I like this pot, so I was I'd initially planned to get some Kufia, things to match this pot with these planters, but I think these planters should match those a little bit. So I think I'll probably put the Saffron Finch, or actually the mini Vista yellows in here with these purple ones, and then I'm gonna get these impatiens out, and then I don't know about the begonia. We'll just kind of play around with colors and see. Again, I had a plan, and then I think I got so overwhelmed that they had Supertunias this year, or proven winners in general this year, that I just kind of forgot my plan. Okay, so since I've already put some plants in these pots, I'd already put some starter fertilizer, which I just used whatever granular one you can find. So Osmocote or proven winners are the two I use. I can't open it. If you can see those granules down there. So now I'm going to use the water soluble fertilizer, because I feel like starter fertilizer, I don't really need it at this point. They've grown these up so well. So I'm gonna do my weekly fertilization, which is just, you put 2 scoops of this in a 2-gallon watering can, and then just fill it up with water. And then I'll water these annual planters, and really at this point in the season, in April, I think you would be good with every other week fertilization, and then you can do weekly. May, June, I guess it depends where you live. So I'm gonna do this because I've been meaning to do this for weeks now. And then another tip have when you're planting out your planters is just have a bucket of soil. So I just emptied a whole bag of 25 quart soil, and then that way you can fill up your planters, because it's surprising how much soil you lose just pulling out a plant. So I decided to go with the mini Vista yellows in these. I already had these dark purple petunias, which I thought looked good with the yellow. And then I took Creeping Jenny from that miscellaneous pot I have, which I really use just to multiply Creeping Jenny, so I could use it in pots every year. And so this will trail this way, the Creeping Jenny on either side. There is another Creeping Jenny here that will go between these two petunias. So that way, every week or so, I'll turn the planter because the sun varies on either side. And then that way there's no gaps in the planter. Like I haven't made one the back or in the front. And same with this planter. In this planter, I had put a piece of my Sun Sparkler Sedum in here to see how it would grow in here. They grow very well. They can become huge, but it was just a piece that fell off that I decided to put in here. And then same thing, we have these dark purple petunias. In between, I've put the Creeping Jenny, so we'll have that. This mini Vista yellow, I put it towards the middle, but like angled it, and then that way it'll trail down. It's already grown out really well. You can trim these back, but this is such a strong stem. I think it'll be okay. I just need to water it in with the fertilizer. All right, so here I just thought I would just do a variety of plants. So I wanted to try the Cool Jazz and Saffron Finch in a planter to see how it does. And so I put the Cool Jazz, I had a lemon coral sedum, I have a Superbena Stormburst verbena. This Bubblegum, so now I figured out why it looks different. It's Bubblegum 2. I guess that means it's an improved version. So we did the Bubblegum. I left the Impatiens I didn't like because I like it next to the Bubblegum. It just looks better. It needed that these cool colors to kind of bring down the intensity. And then I have another Superbena Stormburst, lemon coral sedum. I decided to put a Saffron Finch here to bring some yellow in, even though the lemon coral sedum will bring in yellow, but not so much when it's shady. And then I did another Supertunia Bubblegum, lemon coral sedum, the Impatiens, and this is the puny little Supertunia Bubblegum I got from Home Depot. I could replace it, but I decided to leave it to see if it does catch up in growth with these, and if not, it's okay, because at least my middles are really good, well-rooted Supertunia Bubblegum. And then I watered it in. I added soil. I actually ended up using all the soil I had in my bucket. It's just amazing how much soil you lose out of planters and need to replace. And so I watered it in with my fertilizer. Also used all the water in my jug. And so I'm just gonna move on. I have a planter on top of my mailbox I need to put in plants, and then we're gonna get this rosemary planted into the evergreen garden, so I can show you that one as well. And then I think I'm gonna move out this Calibrachoa, put it in the mailbox planter, and put in some Saffron Finch here so it can kind of go with that. I'm not sure, because I kind of like that there's Saffron Finch, then there's a Calibrachoa, and then there's these mini Vista yellows. So it's not all the same plant, but it's same color scheme. So I might just leave it, because then this purple matches that salvia, but they're different flowers, you know. Kind of like the mixture, and want to let go of like perfection, you know, especially since this looks completely different. But I did repeat this begonia in these planters here, So they were in those other upright planters, and I moved it here, and I think it looks really good with this I Spy Higuerella. It matches the blooms. And then, oh, I decided to I wanted to try the Pink Tiara Supertunia, and so I put it in with this salvia. I already had these, Veronica. This is the pink Veronica by Proven Winners. And then I put in some of the leftover impatiens from the other pots in here, and Pink Tiara, and I think this looks really good together. So, kind of just a cottagey vibe for these pots, not all matching, and I love it that way. Alright, this is the top of my mailbox. And climb up here. So I stuck some pink Veronica, and then I got these Calibrachoa. It's a Proven Winners from Home Depot. I got these Hoopla Vivid Orchid. I got this Superbena Violet Ice. More Calibrachoa. Saffron Finch. Right here. And then Calibrachoa. So it alternates with Calibrachoa